Do you know anyone who has spent their entire life trying to become mentally stronger, but always breaks under pressure? Some people try to overcome anxiety, fear, or mental weakness through willpower, motivation, or positive thinking, but they always crumble days later when real stress hits. You've probably met someone who said they were going to build mental toughness. This person started cold showers, meditation, intense workouts, affirmations. But days later, when a crisis appeared, when real difficulty arrived, all that training disappeared and this person collapsed, perhaps worse than before. I know this happens frequently, and maybe that person is you. But what if I told you there's a method that combines warrior training principles that can help you build a mind that doesn't break, no matter what happens? And best of all, it's a progressive system, 6 phases, each one building on the last. This system combines concepts from samurai training, Navy SEAL psychology, and Zen philosophy. But I need to warn you that this system goes against what motivational speakers teach. It goes against the just be positive mentality, and it will require you to do something that seems ridiculously uncomfortable at first. So uncomfortable that you'll think it's too hard until it becomes easy. Before I show you exactly how this system works, I invite you to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and comment on what breaks your mind most often. I receive many comments from people who have applied what we teach on this channel and experienced real transformation. Thank you for your attention. I love all of you who follow me here. Now, back to the video. Chapter 1. The Day His Mind Broke. Today I'm going to tell you the story of a man named Daniel. Daniel was 32 years old, worked in sales, and was slowly breaking without realizing it. He wasn't weak. He'd been successful. Top performer for 3 years straight. He woke up at 6 a.m., hit his targets, supported his family. The typical guy who looked fine from the outside. But inside, his mind was shattering. Every presentation, his heart would race. Every difficult client, his hands would shake. Every high-pressure meeting, his mind would go blank. He started avoiding challenges, making excuses, calling in sick. Not because he couldn't do the work, because his mind quit before his body did. His wife noticed first. "You're different. You used to love the challenge. Now you're scared of it." He denied it, but she was right. He developed what he called the freeze. That moment when pressure hits and your mind just stops. No thoughts, no strategies, just blank panic. It got worse. He stopped driving on highways too stressful. He stopped taking leadership roles, too much pressure. He stopped planning family trips, too many decisions. His world was shrinking because his mind couldn't handle expansion. The breaking point came on a Tuesday morning. Big presentation, new client, high stakes. He'd prepared for weeks, knew the material perfectly, practiced 50 times. He walked into the conference room, 10 people waiting. He opened his laptop, started his slides. Then his mind went blank, complete blank. He stared at the screen. He knew this material, but nothing came out. His heart pounded. His hands trembled. Sweat dripped down his back. 30 seconds of silence felt like 30 years. Someone asked, "Are you okay?" He wasn't. He closed his laptop, said, "I need a minute," walked out, didn't come back. That night, he sat in his car in the driveway for an hour, just sitting, staring, thinking about how his mind had betrayed him. He wasn't physically sick. His body was fine. But his mind had broken under pressure. Again, his wife found him there. "Daniel, you need help." He nodded, because he'd tried everything already. Positive thinking, breathing exercises, motivational videos. Nothing worked. When real pressure came, his mind still quit. The next day, he called a friend who'd gone through something similar. Marcus, former military guy who used to have severe anxiety but now ran a successful business and seemed completely unshakable. "Marcus, how did you fix your mind? What did you take? What technique worked?" Marcus paused. "I didn't fix it in a weekend, Dan. I rebuilt it, phase by phase, like training a muscle. It took 6 months, but it's permanent now." 6 months? You spent 32 years training your mind to break under pressure. You think you can fix that in 21 days? Chapter 2. The System. The following week, Daniel met with Marcus at a quiet coffee shop. Marcus pulled out a piece of paper and drew 6 boxes connected by arrows. This is the system I used. 6 phases. Each one takes about a month. You can't skip phases. You can't rush them. Each phase builds the foundation for the next. Try to jump ahead and you'll fail. Just like trying to lift 200 pounds before you can lift 50. Daniel looked at the paper. What are the phases? Phase 1. Exposure. You teach your mind that discomfort isn't danger. Phase 2. Duration. You teach your mind that discomfort is temporary. Phase 3. Intensity. You teach your mind it can handle more than it thinks. Phase 4. Complexity. You teach your mind to function under multiple stressors. Phase 5. Unpredictability. You teach your mind to adapt when things change. Phase 6. Integration. You make it automatic. That's it? That's it. But each phase requires you to do something your mind won't want to do. That's the point. You're training resistance. Marcus explained something critical. Your mind breaks under pressure because it's never been trained under pressure. You practice presentations in your bedroom where it's comfortable. Then you wonder why you freeze in front of 10 people. You practice conversations in your head where there's no conflict. Then you wonder why you collapse in real confrontation. You've been training in comfort and expecting to perform in chaos. It doesn't work that way. Daniel understood immediately. He'd been doing exactly that, practicing in safety, failing in danger. So what do? We start with phase 1 tomorrow. But I'm warning you, it's going to feel stupid at first. Ridiculously small. Like it won't work. Trust the process anyway. Chapter 3. Phase 1. Exposure. The next morning, Marcus gave Daniel his first assignment. For the next 30 days, every morning, you're going to take a 2-minute cold shower. Not cold at the end, cold from the start. As cold as you can handle. 2 minutes. That's it. Daniel stared at him. Cold showers? That's your military secret? It's not about the cold water. It's about training your nervous system to handle discomfort without panicking. Your mind quits under pressure because it interprets discomfort as emergency. Cold water is uncomfortable but not dangerous. Perfect training ground. How does this help with presentations? Because the panic you feel in cold water is the same panic you feel before a presentation. Your amygdala fires. Your heart races. Your breath shortens. Your mind screams, "Get out." But in the shower, you can't get out. You have to stay. You have to function while panicking. That's the training. Daniel started the next day. He turned the water to cold, stepped in. His body screamed. His mind said, "Get out now." Everything in him wanted to escape, but he stayed. Counted to 120. 2 minutes felt like 2 hours. When he got out, he was shaking. But something had shifted. He'd felt panic and didn't obey it. Day 3. Same thing. Panic arrived. He stayed anyway. Day 7, the panic was still there, but quieter. Day 14, he noticed something remarkable. He was calmer during the day. A difficult email came in. Old Daniel would spiral. New Daniel just handled it. Marcus explained, "Your nervous system is learning. It's being trained to interpret discomfort differently. Before, discomfort meant emergency, panic, kit. Now it's learning. Discomfort just means discomfort. We can function anyway." By day 30, cold showers felt normal. Not comfortable, but normal. His baseline for unbearable had shifted. "Congratulations," Marcus said. "You completed phase 1. Your mind can now handle discomfort without immediate escape. That's the foundation. Now we build on it." Chapter 4. Phase 2. Duration. Phase 2 is about teaching your mind that discomfort is temporary, that you can outlast it. Marcus gave Daniel a new assignment. Every evening, you're going to sit in an uncomfortable position for 10 minutes. No phone, no distraction, just sitting uncomfortably. Knees bent, back unsupported. Whatever position is uncomfortable but not painful. Why? Because your mind quits not because the discomfort is unbearable, but because it believes the discomfort is permanent. This will never end. Phase 2 teaches, this will end. I can outlast it. Daniel started that night. Sat on the floor, knees bent, back straight, no support. 2 minutes in, his mind said, "This is pointless. Just stand up." 5 minutes in, his legs cramped. His mind said, "This is torture." 8 minutes in, everything hurt, but he stayed. At 10 minutes, he stood up. The discomfort stopped immediately. His mind registered, "It ended. I survived. It was temporary." This became his evening practice. 10 minutes of deliberately uncomfortable sitting. Some days he used different positions. Some days he added arm positions, but always uncomfortable. Always 10 minutes. Always completing it. Week 2 of Phase 2. Something clicked. During a stressful work call, Daniel felt the familiar panic rising, but this time, his mind said something different. "This feeling is temporary. I can outlast it." He stayed on the call. The panic peaked, then it passed. He functioned through it. By day 30, he could sit uncomfortably for 20 minutes without his mind screaming to stop. More importantly, during daily stress, his mind no longer interpreted discomfort as permanent emergency. It was just a wave. It would pass. Phase 2 complete, Marcus said. Your mind now knows discomfort is temporary. You can outlast it. That's power. Now we increase intensity. Chapter 5. Phase 3. Intensity. Phase 3 is where most people fail because it requires you to deliberately seek higher intensity discomfort. Not dangerous, but intense. Marcus gave Daniel the next assignment. 3 times per week, you're going to do a workout that makes you want to quit. Not because you're tired, because your mind wants to stop. Push-ups until failure. Run until your mind screams, stop. Then do 1 more minute. This is just exercise? No, this is training your 40% rule. When your mind says stop, you're only 40% done. Your body has 60% left, but your mind doesn't know this. Phase 3 teaches your mind to stop quitting so early. Daniel started the next day. Push-ups. At 15, his arms burned. At 20, his mind said stop. He did 25. The last 5 were pure mental battle. His body could continue. His mind wanted to quit. He did this 3 times per week. Each time, pushing past the point where his mind said stop, teaching his mind that the quit signal was premature, that he had more capacity than his mind believed. Week 3, he had his first test. Big presentation. Same room where he'd frozen months ago. As he stood up to present, the familiar panic came. But something was different. His mind registered the panic, then said, "This isn't my limit. I can push through this." He presented. Not perfectly. His voice shook at first. But he didn't freeze. He pushed through. And when it was over, he realized something profound. He'd just proven to himself that he could function at higher intensity than he thought possible. By day 30 of Phase 3, Daniel was doing workouts that would have destroyed him mentally 3 months ago. More importantly, his capacity for handling high-stress situations had expanded dramatically. What used to break him now just challenged him. Phase 3 complete, Marcus said. Your mind now knows it can handle high intensity. That signal that says, "I'm at my limit," is no longer believed automatically. Now we add complexity. Chapter 6. Phase 4. Complexity. Phase 4 teaches your mind to handle multiple stressors at once. In real life, stress doesn't come neat and organized. It comes layered. Phase 4 trains that. Marcus explained, you're going to practice doing something cognitively demanding while physically uncomfortable. Study for 30 minutes while standing. Have important phone calls while doing wall sits. Make decisions while tired. Why? Because your mind breaks not just from intensity, but from overwhelm. When multiple stressors hit at once, untrained minds collapse. I can't handle all of this. Trained minds function anyway. Daniel started that week. He'd study industry reports while standing. At first, he couldn't focus. His legs hurt. His mind couldn't concentrate. But he forced himself to keep reading. Week by week, his mind learned to partition attention. Part focused on the content. Part registered the discomfort. But the discomfort no longer hijacked everything. He practiced having difficult conversations while physically tired, making business decisions while uncomfortable, solving problems while stressed. Each time, training his mind to function under multiple pressures simultaneously. The breakthrough came in week 3. He had 3 crises hit at once: angry client, missed deadline, team conflict. Old Daniel would have frozen. Phase 4 Daniel handled them sequentially without mental collapse. His mind had learned to process multiple stressors without shutting down. By day 30, Daniel could function cognitively at a high level, even when physically uncomfortable, mentally stressed, and emotionally challenged all at once. His capacity window had expanded dramatically. Phase 4 complete, Marcus said. Your mind can now handle complexity. Multiple stressors don't break you anymore. Now we train adaptability. Phase 5. Unpredictability. Phase 5 is about training your mind to handle the unexpected. Everything until now has been predictable. You knew the cold shower was coming. You knew when the discomfort would end. Real life isn't predictable. Phase 5 trains chaos. Marcus gave Daniel a new practice: random stress exposure. Set alarms on your phone for random times throughout the day. When the alarm goes off, immediately do something uncomfortable. Drop and do 20 push-ups. Sprint for 1 minute. Hold a cold water bottle. Doesn't matter what. Just immediate, unplanned discomfort. The point? Your mind breaks under pressure, partly because it's surprised. I wasn't ready for this. Phase 5 trains. I'm always ready. I can handle whatever comes, whenever it comes. Daniel implemented this immediately. Set 5 random alarms daily. He never knew when they'd go off. Middle of a meeting? Alarm. Push-ups in the bathroom. Middle of dinner? Alarm. 1 minute of uncomfortable sitting. Watching TV? Alarm. Cold shower. His mind hated this at first. The unpredictability was stressful. But that was the point. Week by week, his mind learned to stay calm despite not knowing what was coming. Learned to adapt instantly. Learned that surprise didn't mean emergency. The real test came in week 4. He got called into an unexpected meeting with executives. No preparation, no warning. Old Daniel would have panicked completely. Phase 5 Daniel felt the panic start. Then his trained mind said, unexpected situation. Handle it anyway. He walked in, adapted to questions in real time, functioned under unpredictable pressure. By day 30, Daniel was comfortable with unpredictability. His mind no longer needed to know what was coming to stay functional. It could adapt to anything. Phase 5 complete, Marcus said. Your mind is now adaptable. Surprise doesn't break you. Now we make it all automatic. Chapter 8. Phase 6. Integration. Phase 6 is where everything comes together. You stop practicing these things separately and start living them integrated. Marcus explained, for the final 30 days, you stop the structured practices. No more scheduled cold showers or uncomfortable sitting. Instead, you just live. But when stress comes, and it will, you use everything you've learned. Naturally, automatically. That's it. That's everything. The first 5 phases were installation. Phase 6 is integration. This is where you discover if the training has become part of you. Daniel started Phase 6 nervous. Without the structured practices, would he regress? But something remarkable happened. When stress came, his mind automatically responded with trained patterns. Unexpected problem at work? His mind didn't freeze. It segmented the problem into smaller pieces. High-pressure presentation? His mind recognized the panic, remembered it was temporary, stayed functional. Multiple crises at once? His mind partitioned attention and handled them. It wasn't conscious anymore. He wasn't thinking, okay, use Phase 2 training. His nervous system just responded differently. The training had rewired his default response to stress. Week 3 of Phase 6, he had the ultimate test. The biggest presentation of his career. Packed room, critical stakeholders, career-defining moment. As he stood up, he felt the familiar sensations start. His old pattern trying to activate, but his trained nervous system overrode it automatically. He presented brilliantly, not without nerves. He felt the pressure, but he functioned within it. His mind didn't quit. It stayed present, stayed functional, stayed unbreakable. After 6 months, Daniel wasn't a different person. He was a rebuilt person. His mind had been trained, phase by phase, to handle what used to break it. Chapter 9. The science behind the system. Let me explain what actually happened in Daniel's brain during those 6 months. Phase 1. Exposure to cold water trained his amygdala to stop interpreting every discomfort as life-threatening emergency. His nervous system learned to distinguish between uncomfortable and dangerous. Neuroscience calls this stress inoculation. Phase 2. Duration training taught his brain that discomfort has a time limit. This built what researchers call distress tolerance. His mind learned emotional peaks are temporary. They rise, they fall. You can outlast them. Phase 3. Intensity training expanded his capacity window. Studies show when you repeatedly push past where your mind wants to quit, your brain recalibrates its limit signals. The 40% rule is real. Your mind quits early. Training teaches it to wait longer before signaling stop. Phase 4. Complexity training built what Navy SEALs call tactical thinking under pressure. The ability to maintain cognitive function while multiple stressors attack simultaneously. This is prefrontal cortex training, keeping your thinking brain online when your panic brain activates. Phase 5. Unpredictability training developed adaptive response capability. When your nervous system is repeatedly surprised and successfully handles it, it learns that surprise doesn't equal danger. You become anti-fragile. Stress makes you stronger. Phase 6. Integration allowed all these trained responses to become automatic. Neuroscience shows it takes approximately 6 months of consistent practice for new neural pathways to become default patterns. Daniel didn't just learn skills, he rewired his nervous system. But here's what nobody tells you about this kind of transformation. It's not about eliminating stress, it's about changing your relationship with stress. Daniel still feels pressure, but pressure no longer breaks him, it challenges him. That's the difference. Chapter 10. The question that changes everything. 1 year after starting this system, Daniel ran into a colleague who'd watched his transformation. "Man, how did you go from freezing in meetings to running them? What changed?" Daniel thought about how to explain 6 months of progressive training. Then he simplified it. "I stopped trying to eliminate stress and started training to handle it, like lifting weights for your mind. Can anyone do this? Anyone willing to be uncomfortable on purpose? That's the cost." The colleague said what everyone says, "But I don't have 6 months." Daniel understood. He'd thought the same thing, but then Marcus had asked him a question that changed everything. 6 months will pass, whether you train your mind or not. In 6 months, do you want to be in the same mental state you're in now, or do you want an unbreakable mind? That question applies to you watching this right now. 6 months from now, you'll either have a mind that breaks under pressure, or a mind trained to handle it. Time passes either way. The only question is what you do with that time. Chapter 11. Your system. Now let me give you the exact system Daniel used. The same 6 phases. The same structure. Phase 1. Exposure. Month 1. 2-minute cold shower every morning. This trains your nervous system that discomfort isn't emergency. You don't need to start with ice cold. Start with uncomfortable cold. The point is feeling the panic and staying anyway. Phase 2. Duration. Month 2. 10 minutes of uncomfortable sitting every evening. No phone, no distraction. Train your mind that discomfort is temporary, and you can outlast it. When your mind screams, "Stop," you stay. That's where the training happens. Phase 3. Intensity. Month 3. 3 times per week, exercise until your mind wants to quit. Then do 1 more minute. This trains your 40% rule. Teaches your mind that "I can't" usually means "I don't want to." Push past that signal deliberately. Phase 4. Complexity. Month 4. Practice cognitive tasks while physically uncomfortable. Study while standing. Important calls during wall sits. Make decisions while tired. Train your mind to function under multiple stressors simultaneously. Phase 5. Unpredictability. Month 5. Set random alarms. When they go off, immediately do something uncomfortable. This trains adaptability. Teaches your mind that surprise doesn't mean emergency. You can handle whatever comes, whenever it comes. Phase 6. Integration. Month 6. Stop the structured practices. Just live. Use the training naturally when stress appears. This is where you discover if the system has become part of you, if you've truly rebuilt your mind. But here's the part nobody tells you. You will want to quit multiple times. Usually in phase 3, when intensity gets high, your mind will say, "This is stupid. Cold showers don't actually help. I'm wasting my time." That voice is the untrained mind trying to protect you from discomfort. That voice is what you're training to overcome. When it speaks, you're at the exact moment where growth happens. Push through anyway. Chapter 12. The truth about mental strength. I need to tell you something honest. This system isn't magic. It's not a shortcut. It's not a hack. It's 6 months of deliberately uncomfortable training. Some days you won't want to do it. Some days you'll think it's not working. Some days you'll regress. That's normal. Expected. Part of the process. Mental strength isn't built in moments of inspiration. It's built in moments of resistance. The morning you don't want to take the cold shower, that's when taking it matters most. The evening you want to skip uncomfortable sitting, that's when staying matters most. The workout where you want to quit, that's where pushing through matters most. You're not training on the easy days. You're training on the hard days. The easy days are just maintenance. Daniel understood this by month 4. He called Marcus. "Some days I still want to quit. Does that ever stop?" Marcus replied, "Never. The difference is, you don't quit anymore. You want to, but you don't." That's mental strength, not the absence of the urge to quit. The ability to continue despite that urge. This distinction is everything. You're not trying to become someone who never wants to quit. You're becoming someone who acts correctly even when you want to quit. That's unbreakable. Your first step. Now I'm going to give you the same challenge Marcus gave Daniel. Don't try to do all 6 phases. Don't even think about 6 months. Just commit to phase 1, 30 days, 1 cold shower per morning, 2 minutes. That's all. And I want you to comment below right now, "I commit to phase 1. Why? Because public commitment creates accountability. When you write it, it becomes real. You've just told yourself and everyone watching that you're starting. That commitment matters. Some of you will do it. Most won't. Most will watch this video, feel inspired, then do nothing. That's normal. Change is optional. Most people choose comfort over growth. But that 10%, who actually comments and actually starts? You're the ones who will have unbreakable minds 6 months from now. Not because you're special, because you're willing to be uncomfortable on purpose. And here's what will happen. You'll start phase 1. Days 1 to 3 will be horrible. Days 4 to 7 will be hard. Days 8 to 14 will be bearable. Days 15 to 21 will be normal. Days 22 to 30 will feel almost easy. And when you hit day 30, you'll realize something profound. You just did something uncomfortable every single day for a month. You trained your mind. You proved to yourself that you can keep commitments even when they're hard. You built the foundation. Then you'll start phase 2 and phase 3. And eventually, 6 months later, you'll look back and not recognize who you were. Not because your circumstances changed, because your mind changed. Your capacity changed. Your relationship with discomfort changed. And when stress comes, and it will, your mind won't break. It will bend, flex, adapt, and stay functional. That's what unbreakable means. Not that nothing affects you, that nothing breaks you. The legacy. Daniel's daughter is 10 now. The other day she asked him, "Dad, why do you always take cold showers?" He thought about explaining the 6 phases, the nervous system training, the mental strength building, but he decided to keep it simple. Because I'm teaching myself to do hard things even when I don't want to. So when life gets really hard, I'm ready. She thought about this, then asked, "Can I try?" They take cold showers together now, 2 minutes every morning. She doesn't understand the neuroscience. She just knows her dad does hard things and doesn't quit, and she's learning to do the same. That's the real legacy. Not just building your own unbreakable mind, but showing the people around you that it's possible. That mental strength isn't genetic. It's trained. That you don't have to be born mentally tough. You can become mentally tough through progressive, deliberate practice. 6 phases, 6 months, one unbreakable mind. The question isn't whether this works. The question is whether you'll do it. If you made it this far, thank you for your time and attention. This means you're serious about transformation. Now go take that first cold shower. Comment below that you're starting. Make it real. Remember, your mind will break under pressure, unless you train it under pressure. The training starts tomorrow morning. 2 minutes. Cold water. Phase 1. See you in the next teaching.